our live Q&A, live webinar here. Excited to get back at it.
Yeah, excited to be here, guys. If you guys don't mind in the chat, let us know where you guys are located, just where you guys are located. Yeah, let's go from there, Dan.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, let me get this paused here. We'll get everything set up and going here in a minute, guys. But thanks for joining us again. If this is your first time, let us know in the chat. If you guys have been here before, let us know. We're excited to get into it. This is 30 minutes we dedicate to really provide as much value as we can, go over any questions you have, go over the business, any deals that we have coming in. I see the chat's already getting pretty lively. Welcome back, Max, the K Factor, Ben Lubin, asking about 1031 exchanges. Get your guys' questions in there and we'll go through all of them here shortly, but excited to hash it out, guys. Welcome back. Kirk from Spokane. Nice.
Yeah, let us know where you guys are from. Kurt's from Spokane. Ben, good question. K Factor. Get to all those questions. Zillow.
New Jersey, Bergen. Brian M here. Welcome, Brian from Illinois. Soldier Boy. Brooklyn, New York. Dallas. Nice.
Get your questions in. If this is your first time hearing about land flipping, a lot of new people in here, it seems like. This is your first time hearing about land flipping. Any new questions, any questions at all? If you guys do have a deal you want us to go over, county, state, APN, purchase price are what we typically require.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I guess Future Structure just said recently joined the program. Excited to have you. We have the members call right after this as well. Future Structure. Not sure who that is. Tampa, Florida, first time viewer. Welcome, welcome, Brandon. I'm down right in your neck of the woods in St. Pete, Long Island. Mike, awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. Everyone's from everywhere. Like I think we've done 2 deals in Florida, and we've been to 0 of our properties that we've done overall. And that's the beautiful thing about this business, guys. It's remote, it's profitable, it's real estate, but it's an online business. It can be handled online. We get realtors, drone photos, all that good stuff. So you can reap, some really good benefits working remote, working from wherever. You don't need to go and visit your land, anything like that. You can. There are some people who do that, but we've done, 1,000 deals and never been to one of our pieces of land that we bought and sold. And we've only lost money. And it was like $600 or something on one deal out of the 1,000.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the nice things, Dan. I mean, you can do rental properties from anywhere remote, but it's a lot more difficult managing what you need to manage with rental properties if you're doing it from all thousands of miles away. It's definitely possible. I know a lot of people do it. I just don't think it's as feasible.
Exactly. And there's just like, I was on a radio show last night and they were asking about some of the benefits of land versus real estate or traditional real estate like rentals and stuff, but it's just less operations. We're talking about raw, vacant, rural land here. There's no structures on the property, no inspections, no contractors. We're not sending in, doing all these improvements to it. That's the bread and butter on it. It's just so simple compared to that. And let's get into these questions so we can start rolling. It's 5:33. Welcome in, guys.
Brandon's real quick, Dan. I know it's not exactly in order, but I think it's a good question.
Really good question.
I guess it's not a question in here, but a statement that we can kind of touch base on.
Exactly what I need to learn how to do. My 9 to 5 is starting to bring people back in the office, and I can't even imagine going back in the office. Glad to be here. Yeah, that's I mean, the COVID era is ending. A lot of people are going back in the office. It's reality, and this is a good time, Brandon, to start. If you want to get out of that job, eventually start some sort of side hustle. We're teaching land and real estate, and we think that's that's how we got out of our jobs. I've been through 12 businesses. Land was by far the most profitable. I love the business model. Still do it a lot. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing about land is like the size of deals you can do with no money out of your pocket. I wired today, Dan. It was a new member. I wired $37,000 or $38,000 to him for a deal that we funded for him. And I think he just joined like 2.5 months ago. So like the size of and he had no money out of his pocket other than finding the deal. But the profit potential fast is what I love about this business, and the stories we hear from members who quit their job in 6 months. Like those are the possibilities within this. And yeah. The COVID era, I think, is long gone. And some of these employers have a little bit of leverage right now with the market and the economy down a little bit. I think employers have some leverage to bring people back to work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Malik asked, "Are you guys cold calling for these leads?" So there's a few methods we use. Cold calling is one of them that we don't really use, but it is possible. Cold calling is good for when you don't have the marketing money for mail and you don't have the marketing money for texting, essentially, because it's so manually intensive. You're calling, you can get dialers. There's things that make it efficient, but in general, cold calling is the highest intensive in terms of a labor point of perspective, and mail is the least intensive. We like the mail side. We like blind offers, which is just an offer letter essentially to a targeted piece of land. So it'd say, "Hey, Malik, I want to buy your land in Hamilton County, Ohio for $55,000, your 5 acres." And it gives a spiel on that. That's what we typically do. Cold calling does work. If you're trying to grind out one deal, get the money to start texting, get the money to start sending mail. That's what we recommend, cold calling. If you don't have those resources at first, you can definitely grind a deal. Name of the game is just finding a way to buy a piece of land under market value. And that's how you make money. You buy it under market value, buy it for half the value, and you resell it, or you add improvements and you subdivide it, or whatever your situation is.
Yep. Um, the K factor, Mike asked about pulling data. So Mike, if you can't get data on Redfin, if you can get Zillow Scraper to work, we also have some advanced modules when we do not scrape the data and we just kind of look at comps. And that's kind of what I suggest, honestly. I know if it's your first time sending out mail, but make sure you've watched, we have 3 different modules. We have the base module for pricing, and we have 2 advanced modules in there. Make sure you watch all 3 of those. It's a good amount of content within there. But Zillow Scraper, there's a good Zillow Scraper. I got to make sure. Scrape Hero. I would look at that one.
Yeah, exactly. And we talk a lot about, 1031 exchange question. I like this. Do you guys ever 1031 exchange gains, or does that affect the ability to close?
Finish your thought for Mike real fast.
I lost my thought. What were we
Oh,
talking
okay.
about?
We were talking about the scraping.
Yeah, I was going to go into a different subject anyways, but yeah,
Oh,
this is
go
a good
ahead.
question about 1031 exchanges. How do you offset taxes on gains? So this is a really good question. 1031 exchanges are, there's a lot of opportunities there for sure. The way the IRS looks at our business model though is not capital gains. This is income. This is considered cost of goods sold because we are doing it with the intent to resell like we are. 1031 exchanges, Ron, you might know a little bit more about that because I know you recently had you had the accountant on and talked quite a bit about this. Do you want to touch on it?
Yeah. So when you buy a property with the intent to flip, that is how the IRS is going to look at it. You cannot just 1031 exchange. If you do find a property, Ben, that you want to do it with, make sure you buy it out of an LLC that is your flipping LLC. So maybe you have Ben Flips LLC and then Ben Holds Land LLC. Ben Flips is for all of them that you're trying to flip right away. Ben Holds Land, maybe you buy 5 acres, you 1031 it up to 10 acres, and you could literally 1031 up to as many acres as you want over time. But make sure the LLC, the IRS, if they see that you're doing a bunch of flipping in the LLC, and then they also see that you did a 1031, that's going to be a red flag and a thing that they will look for audits.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
I'm going to share my screen, Dan. Instead of going, I know we have some deals on here, and there's a member actually who brought a deal because I talked about that $37,000 deal that I literally just wired over. I'm going to show this actually because I think this was our deal of the month on the newsletter that's coming out tomorrow as well.
Nice.
So to give you guys some information, I'm going to pull this up on my other screen so I have the information. So this was a member who joined. It looks like he joined in the end of July. He tried some other methods, I guess, and then started the blind offers. And when we say blind offers, he started sending mail essentially to get land. I believe this took him about 2,000 letters to get this deal. He bought, so you guys can see also the interesting thing, and this is why we do not mail just out-of-state owners. This is where the owner lives. This is the
We
property
can't see your screen if you are sharing your screen, Ron. There we go.
Help. This is where the owner lives, and this is the property
outlined in red
that this member purchased. So this property he got under contract for, let me see, it was $42,000 was the purchase price. It was about $43,000 all in. And believe this, Dan, we bought the property on, or he bought the property on 10/5, and we just closed today. He put in $0 for this property. He put in $0 of the $43,000 purchase. It sold for $95,000, and he's making $37,000 of that after he pays investors back, which is us in this case. We paid for 100% of the purchase price, and then we took a profit spill in the back end. But he made $37,000, and he just started this 3 months ago. This is in a really good area. and we can look at kind of the quality of the land, but he also did a great job selling it. So this is land ID. You can see floodplain, no slope. It's a little weird shape, Dan. What's your comments on the shape here?
Yeah, I remember reviewing this or looking at it at one point and wondering about that, but I mean, the shape's definitely not, the property. If you go two down from this, right?
Yep.
Go two down, highlight that
Right
property.
here.
That is an A plus shape. That's like just a perfect square, nice. That's an A plus land right there. Ours, I mean, I wouldn't even consider it. It's good. It's A plus land, but the shape's not the most ideal. It goes back and then it kind of shifts off to the southeast. But it's not bad. It's very doable.
Yeah, he literally, one of our employees talked to him before he joined the program. He was trying to get some deals himself, and he's like, he was just struggling to get deals. I think, like I said, he joined the program either early August, late July, got this deal under contract, and I mean, this is about as fast as a close as you can get. He found a cash buyer for this deal for $95,000 within a couple of days, and then it sold 20 days later.
It's a really good area, and you see all the mobile homes and structures around.
Yep.
Low restrictions. Most of the pieces of land have structures on it, which is always a good sign. This is really solid land here. I'm not surprised it did this well. I don't know where we are exactly. Shelbyville.
I'm gonna actually pull it up. Let me pull this up real fast. Bedford County, Tennessee. So we can see how he kind of priced it. He priced it at I think he priced it at $100,000. And you can see how cheap he actually priced this. We have 9 acres. So you can see 5 acres just sold for 125. Like, he underpriced the heck out of this, but this is what the business model is. Like, you need to price things well. I mean, maybe he underpriced this, but you need to price things well to make this business model work.
No wonder he got a cash buyer at 95,000.
But I mean, he bought this for 20. He bought it for 42. So like, I mean, here's a decent little comp here, but it just shows what's possible. That's why I wanted to show that, Dan.
And that's the thing. If you're trying to flip quick, you gotta price aggressively when you put your properties up for sale. I like looking at that, Ron. That's a really good perspective. We don't go through these deals after they happened a lot of times. We should start doing that. We usually look at them before, and then we get the money in and we look at the money and we're happy, but it's cool seeing it after and kind of walking through the numbers with everyone. I like that idea.
Yeah, exactly. Let me, and that was one that I literally just wired out today. So we got the money in and I wired him his $38,000 profit. So, congrats to him. He kicked butt on that deal. No, that's Brandon, and Brandon's we did. Are you cold calling for these? We did. What about subdividing properties?
Yeah,
really
we subdivide a lot of properties. Picking up,
explain what it is first.
Starting to do more and more. So subdividing is just taking a piece of land and chopping it up into smaller pieces of land, right? So taking one big piece of land and cutting it up, and being the idea behind that is just bulk buying. It's, I always use the metaphor buying 1,000 hot dogs at Costco versus going to a Reds game, a ball game, and buying one hot dog. And that's the concept of subdividing. You're chopping it up into smaller pieces of land to sell for more. There's major subdivisions. There's minor subdivisions. Majors where you need to put, all the sewage and engineering and all the plans behind it, there is a ton of money in it. I actually talked to someone this past week out when I was downtown St. Pete on Saturday. There's a bike race and he was talking to me. He does it in North Carolina for a builder full time. And he does, I think, like 2,000 subdivides or 2,000 pieces of land a year. And he's buying 150 acre equals 300 properties. That's a major subdivision. He's putting in the curbs, he's putting in the sewage, the infrastructure, all that stuff. And then a builder comes and buys it before he does all that, with the idea of that. And then he does it all for him. So that's a major subdivision. Minors, where you just take it, and you can pull up an example of what we used in the past if you can find one, Ron, but it's where you take it and you're just chopping up 50 acres into 10 5 acres, or something along those lines, 5-10 acre lots or whatever it is. That's when it's minor. You're not doing anything infrastructure wise. You're just chopping it up on paper essentially, and then filing the new survey with the county, and then selling them separately.
Yep. And Ben Lubin, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Ben. Yeah, he's the one from Joe who does these a lot and kind of gets them ready, or does the financing, I think, Dan.
Okay, very cool.
But I'll share my screen real fast. So this is like an ideal property for subdivision. This is 73 acres, I believe. You can see it's got multiple 1,000 feet of road frontage. You have more road frontage down here. All you do essentially is chop this up, chop
along the road. So you don't need to put a road in.
Exactly. You don't need to put a road. You can get 8 or 9 parcels out of this very easily. And you can you can buy this for $100,000 and resell for $400,000 or $500,000. Like, those are realistic numbers for properties like this, because the value add, you're buying this 73 acres for X dollars per acre. You can sell 10-acre properties, 5-acre properties for 3-4 times that amount per acre.
Yeah. And that's one we are subdividing. We did subdivide.
Yeah, we cut this one up into 7 10-acre parcels, I believe. But yeah, there's a ton of opportunity in those. Greg's in here too. Greg, is that your first deal, Greg? Greg just got his first deal, I think. Congrats, Greg. I think we're partnering with him on that one as well.
Very
Looks
cool.
like a buy for like 18, sell for low to mid 40s.
And John asked, how do you guys choose a county to send mailers to? That is the first step in really any real estate business, is choosing your market. And there's a lot that goes into it. We have a lot of lessons on this in general, but to sum it up, we pick metro areas that we want to test out, or a region, like say southwest Tennessee or western Tennessee or the Atlanta, Georgia market. We'll pick that area, and we'll go 1 to 2 counties removed from a city. Typically doesn't need to be a major city, but we'll go say Atlanta, Georgia. We'll pick Macon County, Georgia. We'll pick all these different counties, and then we'll test them against each other. And when we're testing them against each other, we're looking at things like the days on market, and we're looking at things like how much land is for sale, properly listed land is for sale, and how much land has sold in the last 6 months. And when you weigh those and see the ratio, see the population density, see a bunch of other factors that we're looking at to really solidify that, okay, it's going to be possible to acquire it, and we're going to be able to sell it pretty quickly when we do. And that's the things that we're looking for is, are we going to be able to acquire land at a reasonable price here? And are we going to be able to sell it quick enough to really make where it makes sense? And then there's other factors, obviously, like data tree. If there's only 500 records from 2 to 50 acres in a county, maybe we'll go somewhere else. 500 isn't really enough to really target that county. But if there's 2,000, 1,500, 2,500, 4,000, whatever it is, then we'll really attack that area. But there's a ton of different things we look at. We want to just make sure that the land's going to sell on the back end and it's not too expensive of an area, because you don't want to be buying 5 acres for 500 grand. It's just a hard business model in general, especially when you're getting started.
Exactly. I'm going to kind of bang through some of these questions. Then we got a lot of really good questions, so I want to make sure we get everyone's questions answered. Michelle asked, what systems do you use to find these deals? So we use a software called Data Tree to get the land owners. We send mail. And then it's really that, honestly. Like, what systems do you use? We use Airtable for our CRM, and that's a CRM that we actually sell to members as well. But we use Airtable to manage all of our mail, everything like that, all of our deals. Justified Ventures, we do live deals a lot of times. I don't know if we're going to get to another one. We obviously showed that one a few minutes ago. But we do have old live calls. If you go back on our YouTube, old live calls. And if you guys don't mind, if you guys haven't already hit the subscribe button, we have podcasts that come out 3 times a week. We try to provide as much value to you guys on YouTube and other free ways as possible. If you guys don't mind, that subscribe button should be right below our faces, bottom left. That really helps us kind of grow and spread.
Absolutely. What other questions?
Get this one, Dan?
What is the fastest process to gain success in land when struggling to have no budget? Is there any opportunity for people like this? There's definitely opportunity for you. It's harder if you have $0 to your name. Doesn't mean it's not possible, though. We were talking earlier this call on cold calling. The first thing you need to do, J-Roo, is figure out a business you want to attack. So if you're attacking land, you want to learn how to analyze land, acquire land, give offers to people, just the whole business in general before you start attacking it. Once you have that in plan, you have a county selected, you have all of your research done and what you want to go after, land decently, you have to start contacting landowners. And you can do that from a variety of ways. You can cold call. If you have no money, that's probably the route you're going to have to go. You can also text, though, on a decently smaller budget. It's not, you still need records from, PropStream, Data Tree, whatever you're doing. You need county records. So there will be some overhead. So cold calling is not even free either, because you do need these records and you need their phone numbers to contact them. And that's all. You need to spend 99% of your time contacting these leads and trying to get land under market value. But in order to get land under market value, you have to know how to price it or how to offer them. If it's $50,000, you want to go in at 25 and negotiate and do all that. You just need more time under tension, though. You need to do the reps. You need to get after it, start making dials, whatever it is. But in general, that's how I'd go about it.
Yeah, it's a grind at first for sure. But people come out of situations like this and they come out and make a ton of money. It's just like, you're going to have to find a way to save a little bit of money so you can invest some in this business. But education is key in terms of watch free videos, watch as much as you can, find out what business, and then go forward from there.
Yep.
What's the monthly overhead to running a land investing business? John, we typically suggest people starting with three to $6,000 after education. If you do go the education
Not a
route,
month, just in general.
yeah, exactly. Just in general. And then what we find, like that's obviously $2,000 for the first 3 months or so, whatever it is. Once you get past like day 90, most people are turning their profit. Like I said, we just had that example of the 40,000. That was just today that I wired that out. That's why it's on the top of my head. But once you can invest that $3, $4, $5,000 into marketing, you're going to be turning your money over with one or two deals. If you have one or two deals, you might have $30,000, $40,000 of profit. So it's not really a month, and then you're just reinvesting your profit, which might be, it's as much as you want. Like if you want to scale up, you need to invest more into marketing, but then you're going to make more on the back end.
Good answer.
What is your 30-day game plan for new? And I'm looking at start flipping housing in Tampa is almost impossible. Yeah. I mean, those markets, flipping housing in general is not, I don't want to say overly saturated, but it's very competitive. Like getting the deals is a lot more difficult than getting a land deal.
Well, there's more things on the line too. You need a loan, you need to get everything in place. It's just I don't want to say it's an uphill battle, but you add the competition to it, and it's not an easy battle to win constantly.
Yeah. So I mean, 30-day game plan. I mean, you need to start contacting landowners. Like if you do it through an education program like us, and you learn how to send mail, everything like that, that's great. That's what we teach. Like it is our 30-day launch is what that is. And that's ideally people are getting deals within 30 days. We have people getting deals at day 18, people getting deals at day 24. But it is contacting landowners and getting offers out there and trying to get deals on the table.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that 30-day plan that you're talking about, Eurospeed, is for people looking to get a deal in 30 days. Is for the action, the go-getters, the people who want to get out of their job now, that the people who want a deal now. Essentially, that's what we created that for. And we created that from seeing success happen without that program within 30 days. And then we just pretty much put a blueprint behind it, got a couple other things in place. You get a goal setting meeting. We will reverse engineer your situation and where you want to go, and then kind of give you a game plan with you side by side on how to get there. And that's what the 30-day challenge is all about, the 30-day launch.
Exactly. When dealing with different areas, states, contracts, should I have a real estate attorney in that area or state? For closing the deals, like you're going to have an attorney or title company to get the deed and get the deed transferred correctly. We use a set contract, and we give our members a set contract for talking to sellers and getting them to sign, getting them under contract. You definitely don't need one for each state. Talk to an attorney if you want, though, for sure. What is the best way to set up accounting? I mean, we use QuickBooks for like bookkeeping and stuff. I would talk to an accountant for that, though.
Based on your question before, J-Ru, of with limited money getting started, don't worry about that. Just worry about making money before you worry about the accounting side of it. Don't worry. As long as you're legal and you're doing everything, you don't need to report taxes until April next year. So really, as long as you're spending money, it's on the business and all that. You have your expenses organized. You don't really need to worry about that right away. I wouldn't worry about accounting based on the situation and the question you asked before yet. Just get deals, definitely make money, and then figure it out later.
Really, no one. Until you start making money, that stuff doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Do I myself have to close on the land before I resell it? You can wholesale it, assign it, stuff like that. It's more difficult in land from our experience. If you don't have funds to buy a $50,000 deal, $20,000 deal, whatever it is, but it's a good deal, we suggest getting funding for it. Coming to land experts, coming to deal funders, and getting deal funding for it. You'll be a partner with them. You'll be responsible for selling the property, and there'll be a profit split on the back end, kind of like we talked about with that deal. And this goes right into this other question, Dan. I don't understand what the process of funding to close on a deal and then posting on MLS. What if a lot doesn't sell? Or are you stuck paying the funder back? So the way we do it, all the risk is really on the funder. So that deal, again, that we brought up earlier, buy for $42,000, sell for $95,000. We put up our $42,000. If that doesn't sell, I think our contract is at 9 months. That doesn't sell in 9 months. We take over full ownership of the land. But there is no like interest payments. We're not a bank, Dan. And that's what I try to get across. It's a partnership where we have a profit split on the back end.
Right. Exactly. And that's the cool thing about deal funding. It's no risk on you. We're not using banks. We're not using traditional loans. You don't need a credit score or anything like that. We're putting the land is the risk, and it's on the funder. And that's kind of the price the funder pays. They're using their land knowledge and their experience to analyze and underwrite the deal, and then coming up with a profit split where it makes sense with both of you guys.
Yep. Yeah, this is recorded on YouTube, so this will be put on our YouTube channel, Land Investing Online. What price should I be getting land for? It matters some areas. Some areas, 100 acres, you should be getting for $10,000. Other
Mhm.
acres, 1 acre, you should be getting for $300,000, and it's a good deal. It matters the market. We try to buy things at about 40 to 45% of market value. So if something's market value is $100,000, we try to get that for 40 to 45,000.
Yeah, and that's what we do over and over again. And that being said, when there that's the in general, like we're buying 2 acres in Walton County, Florida right now near the beach. It's like 0.2 miles away. It's a nice lot, nice neighborhood, and it's 2 acres for $515,000. That's one of the more expensive price per acre we've ever done, but we're relisting it, I think, for 1.2 to 1.3. So it makes sense. In general, when you're starting though, you don't want to go after 2 acre properties worth 1.3 at first. Those are down the line. You get really good at land. You can do them. You can do that very, very successfully. But what we've seen over and over and over again work for these newer people coming in, we want to get you guys your deals as quick as possible. That's the name of the game. Get your first deal, make your $20,000 to $30,000 on it, do it a couple of times, get your financial freedom that you're looking for, and then start going after those, trickle in those bigger properties. But the properties we see work the most are anywhere from 20 to 70,000, which means if you're buying for 70, you're going to sell for 150 or so on average. If you're buying for 20, you're going to sell for around 45. And as soon as you get 5 acres worth 500 plus thousand, it just gets more difficult.
Yep. Luis, I've had huge seller responding neutral letters in Cape Coral, Florida, but haven't converted any deal. They asked for too much. Would you move on or remail them? I mean, that's up to you. Like, I don't know exactly what those conversations go. I assume you're trying to get more of info type lots and wholesale them, something like that. We're not fans of neutral letters. We've done a ton of testing on neutral letters. We much rather prefer blind offers. There could be some meat in that county where you can make some money for sure. But it's really hard to know based on that. Yeah, neutral letters, getting a call from a neutral letter doesn't mean much. It means someone wants to sell, but the number, we get a call from an offer where we offered $50,000 on a property that's worth $100,000. That's a very legitimate seller. You getting a call on a neutral letter, like they might be asking for 500 and the property's worth 100. So it's hard to know based on response.
It just ups you just need to perfect your sales and negotiation skills. Not perfect, but work on them, because that's where the name of the game is with neutral letters, and you got to get them through a funnel and get them an offer and really work your magic on the phones. And that blind offer just gets to the chase a lot quicker, but both strategies can work if you do them right.
And you got to go back with the number. Like, you can't just like send them a neutral letter. They call you and you ask them how much they want. They say 20,000, and then like it's just done. Like, you need to have a number in mind that you can tell them. Something, no one's going to shoot, not no one, but most people aren't going to shoot a number that's 50% of market value. They're just not. But there is negotiation with a lot of those. Call those sellers back and tell them what you can pay them. And I bet you'll get a deal out of that.
Exactly.
Have you guys ever wholesaled? It's not what we typically recommend. There are situations, like wholesaling is a situational thing where you can double close, maybe where you get something under contract with the seller. The seller wants a little too much money for you to buy it outright. Let's say buy for 22, sell for 30,000. You think the numbers, you don't feel comfortable paying $22,000. You can't get funding for the deal at 22,000. You tell the seller, like, listen, I can market this for 90 days. I can get a buyer, get you your $22,000. And that's when we would do it.
Exactly. And we do have a free course we offer, guys. I want to throw that out there. I just put the link in the chat. It's landinvestingonline.com/free-course-sign up. It's in there. It's how many modules are on?
I don't know. 7, 8.
It's like 7, 8 modules going through the business. You guys can take, if you guys want to learn more about this business, so much free value in it. We really took our time creating this course, and we want to offer it for free to get you guys in the game, get you guys your first deal, get you guys taking action. Sign up for that. Landinvestingonline.com. I put the link in the chat. So go through there and take that course, message us with any questions. Next steps are on there. You can book a call with Ron or I later on, but go sign up for that free course. You'll get redirected to the page, and you guys can start taking action today.
Yep. A lot of people down there in that Walton. Oh, Pete said he's down in that Walton area. Cool. It seems like a growing area. I think this deal's good. I
Oh,
forget
he
where
did?
it's
I didn't
by.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That neighborhood in that area right on the beach was expensive. I was
Yeah,
shocked.
I mean, it was legitimately like 2 acres are going to sell for 1 point, and not on the beach either. 1.4, 1.2 to 1.4. Bo asked, what would be considered market value for land? Market value in anything is what the market is willing to pay for whatever it is, whether it's
And
a
the market's the
shoe.
people.
Yeah, the market is what people are willing to pay. You get market value in real estate in general by looking at comps. Okay, I have 5 acres. Looks like 5 acres down the street just sold for 84,000. Looks like 4.9 acres sold a few months ago for 81,000. Okay, market value somewhere in that $80,000 to $85,000 range for my 5 acre parcel.
Exactly. Other than that, Ron, we got to get in our other member only
Oh,
call. If you guys
6 o'clock.
are members, we'll see you in that Zoom. We're going over live deals here after this. Anything else to add, Ron?
No, not at all. If you guys need anything from us, if you guys aren't in our Discord, we do have a free Discord. I think it's landinvestingonline.com/Discord. You can get into there. Other than that, guys, have a really good week. And we have a Friday call in Discord at 12:30 Eastern.
And free course is in the link. We'll put it in the description as well if we can update that. But yeah, free course in the link. Sign up for that, guys. We'll see you on the other side. Thank